As President George Bush Sr. leaves a tent at the Radio Korea building, a chant can be heard. Around them, everything's burned and destroyed. The cityscape looks like a war zone. But this isn't Iraq, Afghanistan, or anywhere near. This is Los Angeles, 1992. The American dream is an idea where you're able to improve yourself through hard work and diligence. There will be no bias on race or previous economic or societal standing. Coming from an occupied, war-torn, or a dictatorship Korea, Korean Americans who have settled in Koreatown, Los Angeles, were avid believers in the American dream. Through hard work, anything was possible. To them, America was truly the land of the free. They had opportunities they would have never had back in Korea. Like every other immigrant, they held the same aspiration: to have a peaceful and successful life. However, that dream would come to be tested in 1992. March 3rd, 1991. An intoxicated 26-year-old Rodney King is heading down Interstate 210. Speeding over the speed limit of 65 miles per hour, a highway patrol car follows behind. It signals for him to pull over. But Rodney King doesn't pull over, but speeds up and initiates a pursuit reaching over 117 miles per hour. After a short chase through a residential area, Rodney King is cornered at the intersection of Foothill Boulevard and Osborne Street. This is when George Holliday would start to film his infamous recording. March 16th, 1991. Taking place just 13 days after the Rodney King incident, a 15-year-old Latasha Harlins is shot and killed by Sun Ja-da. Starting with a confrontation over the suspicion of shoplifting, Sun Ja-da is hit twice by Latasha Harlins after the confrontation turns physical when Sun grabs Latasha's backpack. This was when Sun pulled out a revolver and shot Latasha Harlins in the head. April 29, 1992. Not guilty. When the verdict of the 4 officers was announced, the anger finally boiled over. Starting in southern Los Angeles, burning and looting of stores started to occur, with non-black bystanders attacked. By the next day, the riots reached Koreatown. As Koreatown was ignited with smoke and violence, the police were nowhere to be seen. Instead of protecting, the police had blocked off the roads between Koreatown and the predominantly white neighborhood of Beverly Hills and Hollywood. With the police completely gone, the Korean Americans were left to defend for themselves. Koreatown citizens and business owners started to arm themselves. Many of the men had military training for mandatory service in Korea before immigrating. Famously dubbed the Rooftop Koreans, groups of armed Korean Americans formed defensive positions around major businesses to stop the looting and burning. It was only after the burning and looting the National Guard restored order on May 2nd. In the end, of the $850 million in damage, over half was from Koreatown. Koreatown was left burned and destroyed. People's livelihoods destroyed. The brave defensive actions of Rooftop Koreans would not come without a tragedy. In a case of misidentification, Edward Song Lee was shot and killed while protecting a shop with 3 friends. Later, a funeral was held in his honor. The future Korean president and Nobel Peace Prize winner Kim Dae-jung was in attendance. Korean Americans were avid believers in the American dream. Working hard to build up their own lives, they were so busy in themselves, they neglected to form a community or build relations with other minority groups. From the fires and destruction, a stronger sense of community was established. Today, the Koreatown community maintains a strong relation with the surrounding African American and Hispanic community, with greater hopes of peace.